you're okay. Maybe I should play with the exceptions of the post-menopausal and those who are basically sterile themselves. Obviously, if you're already naturally sterilised and you're heterosexual, that's fine. But the rest of the heterosexuals need to be sterilised immediately. Just look around here. This is what the heterosexuals who should have been sterilised, this is the result of it. Look, there's a bunch of absolute nutcases who are not doing anything useful, like this guy here, just wearing Adidas clothes because that's what he saw on his social media or whatever it is, right? Why did you have your children? To produce life. To produce life. So he had his children to produce life, right? This is what, would you like a dad like that? Why did you have me? Oh, well, I don't know. I thought I'd produce some life. Fuck it, who cares? You know, never mind that the life might struggle. The life might have a hard time here. You know, some of us do sometimes. Most of us do sometimes, right? But he had one because he wanted to produce life. Oh my God. You should have gone to a psychiatrist and got yourself sterilised. Can you imagine what it's like to have this guy as a dad? How many of you pop out? How many? Yeah, go on. Yeah, I might have.
What have you done?
I might have.
What have you done?
It doesn't matter what I've done. How many have you done? Come on, answer me. Answer me. Why not? Go on, give us a clue. Have you done more than 5? You got 2? I'm worse than you. I'm worse than you. That's right. I'm a bigger sinner than you are. Absolutely. I do not claim that I am not a sinner. I am a great sinner. I sinned 3 times, right? But I should have been sterilised. I should have been sterilised many years ago. Clearly. Why? Who would want me as a dad for a start? Nobody in their right mind would want someone like me as a dad. No, an uncle, fine. An uncle, fine. I get on okay with my nephews and nieces because I'm a bit mad, bit cool, bit interesting, and not as a dad. I should have been sterilised when I was 21 years old. Now I've caused all this trouble in the world. Right? And he's caused all this trouble in the world because he wanted to produce life. I mean, really? Before you took a risk with these poor people's lives, these children of yours, right? What would have happened if your child was, you know, severely disabled?
Just because you're a shit dad doesn't mean he's a shit dad.
What's that?
Just because you're a shit dad, it doesn't mean he's a shit dad.
No, all people that have children are shit dads.
My father was a fucking champion.
Yeah, how do you know he was a champion?
Because he taught me right from wrong. That's how. Yes, he did.
Know? How do you know what's right and wrong?
Because I treat people with the same respect that I expect.
Wonderful. All people?
Every single person.
Really? What? Even people who are hostile to you?
Yeah, even them.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Even them.
Wonderful.
Because you
and is that all you need? Is that firstly? Do you ever question? Do you ever question that your own analysis of yourself?
Yeah, I'm quite introspective a lot of the time. Yeah.
Do you realise that? I mean, how much do you trust your own thinking?
My own judgment?
Yeah, your own thinking.
All we have is our own judgment.
Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about we here.
Okay.
We.
Yes, I trust my judgment.
Yeah,
I do.
That's what worries me. That's what worries me about.
What makes you think that my judgment is poor?
Because you're human.
It's true.
It's very difficult to make
doesn't mean I've got poor judgment.
World.
I've got better judgment than a dog, than a cat,
maybe,
a fucking
maybe
rabbit,
not.
a mouse.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't.
So how can you
for example,
say
this
I
guy,
deserve to be sterilised?
I'm saying yes, you should be sterilised.
I don't even have children yet.
Okay, good. That's why you should be
But
sterilised.
I want to be a father.
Why? Okay, now look. Let me just explain something to you, right? Right. Just because someone wants to be a father does not mean that is a good idea, right? Because anybody who has the thought, I want to be a father, if you think about it really, really carefully, yeah? Like, you need to get to the bottom of why. Why would you want to be the role model of your child? Why would you want to be mold? Why would you want Why would you want to mold some other human being into your way as if it's so wonderful, right? Why would you want to start somebody else's life and possibly watch them suffer and know that they're going to die probably in a very painful way? Why?
Okay, the answer is so that the next generation of humans that we raise, we can teach them to be, well, to be people like you, have a free thought, freedom
Like
of
me?
speech.
You want to teach people to be like
We
me?
can all
What for?
discuss, hang on. We can all discuss different viewpoints without being aggressive, without being violent. So it's our responsibility to ensure that the future generations don't behave like you, but are willing to listen to people like you. What our problem is that unfortunately, we've all stopped listening to each other. I'm right, you're wrong, I'm big, you're small. I don't agree with anything that you're said or you're saying, but I agree with your right to say it. And the more people think that way, the better our democracy will be. That's why I think, not mould a person to be like me, teach them things that I wish I was taught better. Improve as we go along.
That's wonderful.
That was a fucking good answer.
No, it wasn't. It was. See, look. You see, he doesn't.
You see, but I don't deserve children, do I? I should have been sterilised.
You don't.
Why?
Because you don't. You've got so little
Oh, what an
self-awareness.
idiot. This guy's an idiot. Don't listen to him. Waste your time.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Perfect. He's got so little self-awareness that it doesn't occur to him that what he's just come up with makes any sense at all, and it doesn't make any sense at all, and it's nonsense. Because he's not going to really contemplate that. He's just going to have children because I want to have children, right? He's got this weird desire to bring someone else and take someone. If he's so interested in the betterment of society, why does he have to have children of his own? There's a million things you can do. There's children who need adopting, fostering. There's children who have got single parents, right? Women, all sorts of single parents. Why doesn't he just help one of them? Right? If he's so interested in raising a child, right? Or alternative children. What's that?
Why did you have children?
Because I was a complete ignoramus. I was in a cult, right? Yeah, the cult of natalism. It's a cult. It's a very, very big cult. 99.9% of people are members of the cult, and in the cult, they believe that everybody should pump out as many children as they can, basically, or certainly some. Yeah, that's the cult. And I was brought up in that cult, and in my cult, when you're in the cult, you don't know you're in a cult. So I had 3 of them. But that doesn't mean that I should not have been sterilised. Of course I should. And so should any heterosexuals here. Anybody here heterosexual? You are?
Getting a vasectomy done.
Okay, good. I know he's getting a vasectomy. He's doing the right thing. He's doing the right thing. He'll no longer be a danger to women and to society. Right? Because you're heterosexual, every heterosexual man walking around with an unsterilised penis is a danger to themselves, a danger to anyone they sleep with, literally a danger. You are a danger. When you make someone pregnant, you are literally endangering their life and their well-being, right? You're endangering them and you're endangering the rest of us. Bringing another person that needs to be taken care of on top of the 8 billion people. None of us know what was going to happen to us because AI is basically replacing us, right? Eventually there'll be no use for most of you, especially you lot. You'll be thrown to the dogs. What do you mean? What would AI have used for you? Look at you. Bunch of reprobates.
Well, but that's why
Nothing
you're
better
supposed
to
to
do
get
than
on the
stand
top
here
and learn how to
to
use
try
it, so
to
then
get yourself to feel better that there's someone in the world who's more crazy than you are. Well, hey, wow, that's a really noble thing to do, isn't it? Look, that guy here. He comes every week just to make himself feel he's not quite as crazy as the people that speak it. But you know, he's just quite crazy enough.
So you admit that you're crazy?
Of course I'm crazy. What are you talking about? How can you not be crazy in this world? How? You've got information coming from you from left, right and centre, off the internet. You know who to believe and what to believe. You've been brainwashed since you were born. You've no idea what's going on. You don't know how to decipher truth. You're crazy. If you don't know how to decipher truth, then you are going to be made crazy. But most of you don't know how to decipher truth. You've never learned the science. It's a very basic science. It doesn't take more than a couple of days to familiarise yourself with it. But just have a look at the cognitive biases and the logical fallacies. You need to learn these things. if you're exposing yourself to anything, to anyone. Otherwise, how can you know what's true or false? This is why you people, you heterosexuals, need to be sterilized. Because you're creating more crazy morons. Look at the world around here, look. Is anybody here of any use? Is anybody here of any real use, or could the world be quite okay without you? What? How was I created? Unfortunately, through my father, I never had a vasectomy. I wish he would have. Would have saved me a lot of time, a lot of bother, and having to answer questions like that. Yes, I was created the same way, because my dad had sex with my mum without protection, right? And if he would have had a vasectomy, it would have saved me, brother, because he didn't know what he was doing. He clearly didn't. Yes, I wouldn't be standing here. Yes, what would be so bad about that? There'd be some other nutter standing here, or you'd be with this lot of nutters. Who cares?
It's a shame that the world enough to talk about Charles and the Rockefellers that way.
It doesn't matter about them. Forget them. It doesn't matter about other people. Never like them or anyone else. What about you? It's just you. It doesn't matter about the Rockefellers. You've got nothing to do with the Rockefellers. It's none of your business. No. The only thing that's your business is to realise what your genitalia really are, right? And to take them on. Say no to your vagina. No, I'm not going to let some guy in here and make me all fat and all that rubbish. I don't want that. I don't want to hear some stupid screaming baby and have loads of problems. And the men, you need to understand what you have between your legs is a weapon of mass destruction. You must get it neutered if you are heterosexual. Because otherwise the most dangerous toxic liquid known to mankind, sperm, is being spread like wildfire.
Danny, are you leading by example? When's your clinic appointment for your vasectomy?
My sterilisation. I've been sterilised. Yeah, of course. Obviously, I can't suggest this if I haven't at least done it myself. Of course. My goodness, what the best decision of my life. It's fantastic. If I ever make the mistake of going near that.
How did you manage to have 3 kids though?
How did I manage?
Yeah.
Because I told you I was brought up in the cult. The natalist cult. It's a cult.
Is it true you have 3
Sorry,
kids?
it's a cult based on some weird superstition. You live in a superstitious cult that you're the superstition of, ooh, I'm going to be a great mum and my children are going to be fine. They're all going to be completely sane and they'll be very, very good and clever and nice and everything. Da-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. That's the world you live in, right? Deluded, crazy world. What's that?
Homeschool your children and keep them away from negative forces.
Who cares what my children think of my views? I want to know what you think of my views.
We want to know what your kids
Are you denying it? Are you denying it? It doesn't matter what my children think about it. They think all sorts of things about it. I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, I do, but not about this so much anymore because I speak about it incessantly out in the world. It's just. What? Oh. Please don't make me feel sick. Oh my God. Someone who called me granddad. Oh. Look at this. Seriously. Are you heterosexual? You need to be sterilised, madam. You need to be sterilised. Stop the flow of your wretched DNA. Because DNA is wretched.
You are a
Yes.
granddad.
No, I'm not a granddad, not as far as I know.
Granddad.
I mean, it's not impossible that my son might have slept with someone.
I just saw a smile.
You know,
You cracked
slip
a
one
smile.
past
You
me.
want grandkids. You want grandkids.
Not to my knowledge.
Yes, you do.
Now look.
Yes, you do.
Now look. Yes, look, all the heterosexuals are getting excited, aren't they? Haha, he's got a granddad. But this is what I'm talking about. I know, but I realised too late. I'm trying to stop you making the same mistake I made and have yourself a vasectomy. You should be forced to have a vasectomy, unless you can give me a reason why not. I'll tell you what, I don't believe, perhaps I should say, everyone should have a vasectomy by default, unless they can explain why not. So I'll tell you, I believe you should have a vasectomy unless you can explain why not. Why should you not have a vasectomy?
I don't need to explain myself.
Exactly, there you go. There you go, I don't need to explain myself. He can't, because he can't explain himself. Because there is no reason, mate. Get to the surgery tomorrow, my friend. Before you do any damage with that thing.
It feels good.
Yeah.
It feels
A lot of
good.
damage.
Do you not want to create a legacy for yourself?
Oh, create a legacy
Why are
for
you here?
yourself. Oh, that's a nice
He
crack.
created his legacy, right?
So what is
That's
your
why he's
legacy?
here.
That's
yeah.
what I'm creating.
What
by
is
having
it?
kids,
What
I'm going
is
to
it?
create one.
What is your legacy?
By having
Why
kids,
would you want to pass on your... What is your legacy?
I make a difference.
Oh, you make a difference, do you?
I can.
Right.
You
Oh,
don't
you
know I
can.
could. My
Really?
kid's good.
Have you spoken to? Have you had children yet?
Not yet.
Okay. I would really seriously, before you even think about it, check in with a psychotherapist to get to the bottom of your delusion.
Psychotherapist?
What?
Psychotherapist?
Yes, you need to see a therapist. You are mad. You actually think. Once again, you're going to do. You're going to make the world a better place. You, by
never said I would make a better
by
place.
forcing some poor victim into existence. You're going to make the world a better place.
But you
Exactly
did 3
how?
times.
Yeah, I know. And I was a mistake. I made 3 terrible,
3 mistakes at
terrible
once.
falls. No. At the time, it seemed like a good idea. Have you not done things in the past that at the time seemed a good idea? I'm sure many of your parents, when they had sex, at the time, it seemed like a good idea. Yeah, but now they think about it. Now they think about it. They know that instead of having you, my dear, your parents could now have a home in the south of France, just a holiday home. And now they got you, right? So they didn't think about it properly, and neither do you, which is why we need people like this guy here to get himself sterilised, unless you can tell me a reason why not. Why not?
I'm going to have 12 kids just for you.
Oh, you're going to have 12 kids just for you. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This guy needs to have a vasectomy before he damages the world. 12 children he's going to have.
And he's going to name them after you. What are them?
You're going to name them after me.
Daddy.
Yeah. So you see what I mean, ladies and gentlemen? I'm saying, fair enough. Maybe this is a bit harsh. If you've got a good reason, gentlemen, let's start with the gentlemen, because I think the women it's a bit harder, right? So, for example, a woman might say, yes, but I really don't want to go through that surgery, yeah? That would be a fair reason not to, right? And then we could look at other things like just don't let anybody inside you, but that's a whole nother discussion, right? But the men, right, they haven't really got that excuse, so we haven't heard yet from these guys any reason why you think you should be allowed to just go and create another human life. Why?
What's your reason?
Why not?
I was given the ability to do that.
So what? I know that was a terrible mistake. That was a terrible mistake. Giving you the ability to create another human. What a terrible, terrible mistake that was. Look at you. What? Because you don't even know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. You haven't thought it through properly, and you're deluded, thinking that you're going to make your child's going to be some kind of hero.
If he's like me, he won't.
If he's like you, you're such a hero. Oh yeah, you're doing such great stuff. What are you doing? Tell me the great stuff you're doing in the world.
If my child was to become like
What
you,
is the
I'd be
great
disappointed.
stuff that you're doing in the
Your
world?
grandkids, if your kids and their grandkids became like you and looked at you, they'll be disappointed. The thing is, because you don't rate human life, you don't value human life. You
No.
don't value your own life. That's why you
It's not that I don't value it.
You don't value
It's not
your
about
own life.
valuing it.
That's why you're going to devalue
It's not about not valuing it. It's not about not valuing it. I value the prevention of suffering more than I value anything else. And if your father would have been sterilised, that would have prevented a lot of suffering, including the suffering that I'm experiencing now, just having to talk to
What
you.
did your kids do that hurt
And
you
therefore, to put an end to that suffering and to allow me to breathe again so that I don't get hooked into you, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to do some conscious breathing, and I'll be back with you within 30 seconds to a minute.
So you had your personal life, you had 3 kids. You're taking a breather, yeah? I'll let you take your breather. Taking a breather.
Takes him 30 seconds for feet to go soft. So in that time, please make sure you subscribe to the still swimming live. Don't forget, if we finish today at 5 p.m. So today we finish as normal.
I think that question got him, you know.
And today,
Back alive.
arguing.
Ready, yeah? We started.
Ask him that. Ask him that. What did your kids do that made you so bad? That you don't want them anymore? That you regret it? What was it?
See what's going on here is he's now concentrating on me. He can't deal with what I'm saying, right? He's now asking me clever questions, right? But we still haven't got to the bottom. If you just watch from the outside, they still are refusing to have a proper conversation with me about why they should be allowed to do something as huge as to bring another human being into existence. Why should you be entitled to do that?
I know.
Yeah. What's that? I know it happens naturally. But we human beings, we should be able to understand the severity of it all.
Can you answer my
The
question?
severity and the huge responsibility, at least that we know what we're doing, whereas these guys ain't got a clue what the responsibility, and they just think about themselves. It's a cool guy, I'm going to have kids. Who is this guy to tell me I should be sterilised? No way, me, no, not me. You tell me, your kids wear all this, that. Meanwhile, we haven't heard a good reason why you shouldn't be sterilised, because I think you should. I don't want to see you reproduce. I think it would be terrible for you, terrible for the woman, and terrible for society, and terrible for the environment. You tell me why it wouldn't.
Suppose everyone listened to you, right?
Huh?
I would have given you.
Why? What was your reason? That wasn't a reason for you bringing more
So
people
you
into
give me
existence.
your reason why. should
No,
everyone
give
be
me
sterilised?
logical and ethical reason why you
You give me
should
logic.
reproduce.
One of your points was
Yeah?
the environment.
What?
One of your points was the environment. You want to have a better environment.
Well, I mean, the environmental one is right on the bottom of the list.
So
But
what was,
you are
you're
going
still up here on a little pedestal.
every person
and you're
that's born.
saying everyone should be sterilised. What are the
Yes,
main
no,
reasons
not
for
everyone. Not everyone. I told you.
Heterosexuals then.
I'm prepared
So
to
why-
say only heterosexuals
Why are not-
and
why not homosexuals?
anybody who doesn't want to be sterilised can certainly, if they come up with a reasonable reason why not, then they don't. So, for example, I think that women, for example, I think that it would be completely fine for them to say no. It's too much of a heavy operation for me to do that, right? But the men would not be able to get away with that because it's such a tiny operation, yeah? And we're talking about something that's so important, which is creating new human beings, right? Now, I'm saying that all of these heterosexuals, like this guy here, should be sterilised unless he can actually state that he's got a good reason why he should be running around the place impregnating poor women.
So Danny, have you actually
Why
had...
should you? Yes, they are.
No, it's
Yes,
consensual.
they
Don't
are.
worry about that.
Of course, they are.
Danny, have
They're
you
going to
actually-
get all big. They're going to get pregnant. They might get ill. They might even die. Right? They're going to right, and then they're going to be stuck with with your child. Right? Having to bring up your child. They won't know what they're doing. Right? You don't know what you're doing. Right? You ain't got an idea what it's like to be a father, have you? You do?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
told you,
Exactly.
I
So
told you.
you're going to have a kid. I know you're not a father, but you're still going to have a kid, and you've got no idea what you're doing. This is why you need to be sterilised.
Why?
Because you haven't got a good
No
reason
idea.
unless you can come up with a good
No idea.
reason. Why not?
So why
Because you're a
not?
danger
Why
to
not learn?
society.
Why not
You're a
learn?
danger
How
to
am I a danger
society.
to society?
Because that wicked little
You
sausage, that wicked little sausage of yours, yeah, could go around and create another. What's that? Large sausage. Wonderful. Oh, well done. Great. That doesn't make it any more or less dangerous. Maybe more dangerous. That big weapon of mass destruction in there, right? As we speak, it is manufacturing a very lethal and dangerous, a very dangerous bioweapon, sperm. You are carrying a bioweapon between
You
your
are a
legs,
sperm.
right?
You are a sperm.
Yes, I know. I agree with you. I'm a
are the
result
worst
of this. It's
sperm.
terrible. I'm the result of sperm, and if you don't want your child to end up like me, the only way to make sure that it hasn't is get yourself sterilised.
Oh, really?
Because my father was completely different. He was a bit like you.
Why was it?
No, he wasn't actually, to be honest.
Have you had the operation?
But he was different.
Have you had the
Of
operation?
course I've had the operation. Of course. I couldn't put this up if I didn't have the operation. Yes.
Can we see some evidence?
Can you see some evidence? No. No.
Take it off. Take it off.
Just take his word for it.
Well, it doesn't matter. That's just a personal thing anyway, whether I have or haven't, right? I can still campaign for this. I believe that we should all be sterilised unless we have a good reason not to, right? So, for example, let's say you're 63-year-old man, and you only ever sleep with your wife who's like postmenopausal. Then I can see maybe it's okay. You're certainly at the back of the queue, right? Okay, but the rest of you, you know, you still haven't told me, and the ladies, why would you not want to be sterilised? Why am I involving you? Come on, I want to know. Why not? I think the ladies as well. I think it's fair enough if they say it for such a heavy... What's that?
If there wasn't a human population,
Yeah.
then the world would be a very low-level place. So
Really?
in
What
order
you
for
think?
society
You think
to
humans
continue-
raise the raise level of what? What do humans raise the level of? No, thank you. No, please tell me. You're saying that without humans there will be a low level of what? No, carry on. It's okay. Yeah, but you see, the thing is that I'm not talking about a world without humans or with humans. Personally, I don't think there'll be any problem with a world without humans, right? Because loads of our problems will go because there won't be humans. But it doesn't matter, because that's going to happen whenever it happens. You know, sometime there'll be a world without humans. You know, some people might think it's soon, some people might not. I don't know. I'm hoping that it's fairly soon. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't see this thing going on for... I see ya. Maybe next week you have a think about it. Come back with a reason why you shouldn't be sterilised, guys. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I must change this sign when I have time and I can be bothered. It's actually not all heterosexuals I propose. I reckon that basically all heterosexuals should be written to, and they should be requested to have sterilisation. It will be written to them to say we've got to stop this incredible madness of creating more human beings, more people, more problems, and it's the heterosexuals that are doing it, and they're doing it, a lot of it accidentally, so we've got to stop this madness, right? 50% of pregnancies in the UK alone are a result of an unwanted impregnation, right? So what I'm saying is that not all heterosexuals, but every heterosexual should be written to, and they should be required to either accept having a sterilisation or to explain why they shouldn't have a sterilisation. If they have not got a good reason not to be sterilised, then they should be encouraged to be sterilised as soon as possible. And I suspect that many of the people, heterosexuals here, have not got a good reason why they should not be sterilised. If you have a good reason as to why you should not be sterilised, please make yourself known now.
If I promise to only do anal, why not be sterilised? Or oral?
Well, I mean, the only question is, do we trust you?
I promise.
How can we trust
Cross
you?
my heart and hope to die.
Okay, if you're, you know, if we discover that that's, you know, fair enough, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can certainly, I think that they should bring it into, you know, law, and they should write to you, and then obviously you can write back things like that. You know, but at least you're saying, you know, I acknowledge that I must not make any more human beings, yeah, and I'm going to make sure that I don't, right? That's fair enough, because there's so many other people that need to be sterilised. There's no time to sterilise people like you, right? You'll be right at the bottom of the queue. Exactly. I'll take your word. If you're going to do either anal, or in the mouth, or masturbation, or even better than that, right? Yeah, eyes, nose, wherever you want to go. Yeah, it's up to you, right? Or better than that, you come on one of our courses, you know, our tantric sex course. Yeah, where basically you learn how to stop ejaculating, hold it in. That's right.
No nuts November.
No Nut November, yes, very good. I think we should do that, yes. Start with a month.
That is actually a thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Look online.
Yeah, we're going to get on top of that. Yeah, when I get the course together. But we do a wonderful course where we train men how to, to feel rather disgusted about the idea of ejaculation. Yeah, they don't want to ejaculate. They realise it's a terrible idea. Right? If they can just hold off, yeah, everybody's better off.
What happens
No
with
man.
the men who become frustrated and angry and then it turns into like anger?
No.
How do we control that?
Wow. Okay.
Is it part
Now,
of the
ladies and
tantric-
gentlemen, this is a good question, and it's a question that I have not considered up until now. And even if I had, it's always good to pause before answering a question. So I'm going to think about that, and I'll let you also think about that, because I don't know what I'm really talking about. So I rely on you
I thought it was
to
part
tell
of the
me.
tantric course